Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar, and I welcome you all to this daily editorial session. So, I hope you all have been doing well. I hope all of you are doing well and you have enjoyed the weekend. You have also written some answers. So, there is one part like this 1 week is going to be this 1 week plus you can say the next 10 to 15 days is going to be very much crucial. Why? You will find this that we are going to have the beginning of the session of Lok Sabha. The parliament session is going to start from today. So multiple bills are going to be tabled. There will be multiple editorials on that. So we will keep a tab on each of them. We will see what is important for exam and we will try to discuss them. Okay. So I welcome you all to this session. And in today's session, the topics which we are going to discuss about, one thing is about India and UK trade. We are going to talk about India and UK trade agreement. Then we will talk about the second article which is related to innovation and research. That what is the present status of innovation and research in India and at the same time what should be done by the government in this regard. Then we have to talk about the third one thing which is about the delimitation. So we are going to talk about these topics. Okay, so yes, I am quite good. I hope all of you are also doing well. I hope that all of you are also doing well. So let us start first. Let us start first with this India and UK agreement. Okay. This agreement is basically talking about this one idea that when we are having a trade deal with UK, it is going to test our competitive confidence. Okay. Yes, I have told you that, but as of now, I have got no such information. So once I get such information, I will let you know. Okay. Now, so a trade deal which is going to test India's competitive confidence. Okay. Now, let us come to this part. When we are talking about India and UK, India plus UK, we have got this one thing called as CETA. And as part of this, there has been one important thing, tariff reduction. There is going to be tariff reduction on both sides. There is tariff reduction on both sides. There is also the double contribution convention. The double contribution convention. This is something which is going to be there for the professionals. For the professionals. Okay. So we are having this double contribution for the professionals also. So these are the two major things which are happening as part of the comprehensive economic and trade agreement between India and United Kingdom. For many of the examination, even this one fact is going to be important from the point of your prelims part. There was a question once in UPSC, they have given about beta. There was one agreement, beta, BITA, and they have asked about this, that India is having a conversation with respect to bilateral investment and trade agreement with which of the following countries. So there was once a question on that dimension also. Now similarly, in some of the exams, you might be getting this one question about the CETA, that the comprehensive economic and trade agreement is being signed by India and which countries. So that is one aspect of it. But we are going to talk about this, that how this is going to be beneficial for India. This article is only talking about the possible benefits. This article is just talking about the possible benefits, that how it is going to be beneficial for India. So we are going to look into this one aspect, that how this is going to be beneficial. That how this one thing is going to be beneficial for India. Okay. That how this one thing is going to be beneficial for India. Now, in this context, if we are talking about it, that how this is going to be beneficial for India, we have to first look at that we are also going to get a huge boost to our export. Okay. Boost to Indian export. Boost to Indian exports. Okay. Especially when we are talking about the generic, especially the generic medicines, that we will see that we are going to have a benefit for the generic industry, for the generic medicine. They are going to get a huge fillip in this trade deal. There is going to be benefit for them. Okay. Then it is also saying that there is going to be a competitive advantage. There is going to be competitive advantage with respect to the neighboring countries of India. This is one of the part. Second part is there is going to be competitive advantage with respect to neighboring countries. With respect to the neighboring countries. That with respect to our neighboring countries, we are going to have some competitive example. Like we will have example with respect to Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, etc. So we are going to have competitive advantage. There are certain companies from these countries also who are going to export to UK, and we are also there. So it is going to give us a competitive advantage with respect to our products. So we will have a competitive advantage with our neighboring nations. Third thing is, it is especially beneficial for the labor intensive sector. It is especially beneficial for the labor intensive sector. Beneficial for the labor intensive sector. Such as textile, apparel. So this is having a potential to generate employment. This is having a potential to generate employment. This is having a potential to generate employment. That this is going to help us in promoting this employment in India. So if we are talking about this one part, that when we are talking about the tariff reduction, so how it is going to help us? How the tariff reduction is going to help us? Okay. Now, at the same time, we see that there are other benefits also. When we are talking about India-UK deal, we see that there are other benefits also. Okay. What those other benefits are? What are those other benefits? It is being said that when we are talking about India and United Kingdom, this double contribution convention, DCC, it is going to facilitate easy movement of professionals from India to UK. This is will facilitate easy movement of professionals from India to UK, from India to United Kingdom. That this is going to facilitate the easy movement of the professionals from India to United Kingdom. So that is also one comparative advantage which we see here. Then it is also being said that the import, this is also going to become cheaper. That the import is also going to be cheaper. So in this condition, what is the possible benefit? That if imports are getting cheaper, then people will normally say that it is going to be counterproductive. If the imports are getting cheaper, then people say that it is a counterproductive thing. But then what we see here, first of all, we will have higher quality of goods. Higher quality of goods. First of all, we are going to have higher quality of goods for consumers. So the normal people, they are going to have a better quality of good, a better quality of goods for the consumers, whether it is cars or whether it is other things. Okay. Second thing is, this is something which will be done in, it is something which will be done in a phase-wise manner. It is something which is going to be done in a phase-wise manner. So again, what we look at this, that it is going to give the time, it is going to provide the time for the companies to adapt. Okay. So this will provide the opportunity. This is something which will provide the opportunity for domestic companies to adapt. That it is going to provide the opportunity for the domestic companies to adapt according to the changing tariff. That it will also provide them that opportunity. They can adapt. Okay. Third thing is, this is going to again promote. This is something which is going to promote competitiveness. This is going to promote competitiveness. Okay. It is going to promote the competitiveness for the Indian companies. For a very long period of time, Indian companies have been very much like doing no such innovation. They have been like they have been just selling the same goods to Indian people for a very long period of time. Like, look at the car companies in India. When we are looking at the car companies in India, they are not making any such innovation. What they are doing, just changing the headlight, just changing the tail light, just changing the looks. They are not adding anything in security features. They are not adding anything in the quality of the ride. They are not adding something to the value of the vehicle. They are just changing the looks, changing the color and selling the same product again and again. So what we see that this is something which is going to promote the competitiveness. Okay. It will enable, this is something which will enable domestic companies to invest in research and development and become global. Become global in nature. Think about this. We have a country in our neighborhood, Vietnam. Vietnam is a very small country compared to us. They are having a very small economy also. So Vietnam is a small country, a small economy. They are having their electric car getting launched in India. Vietnam is having their electric car getting launched in India, and what we are doing? We are still struggling with our petrol, diesel and CNG. And we have not been able to go global. We see that the global companies are coming in India. They are selling their products here. Even in neighboring countries like Vietnam, extended neighbor, nearby country Vietnam is able to sell their electric car in India. What we are doing then? And we are not talking about Japan, South Korea or other developed nations. A simple nation in our neighborhood, Vietnam. So we see that our companies need to go global. And this India-UK trade deal, is going to help. It is going to help Indian professionals to move abroad in an easy manner. This is also going to provide us the quality product. It is also going to help our domestic companies become competitive, become global. So this is something which is like the main argument of this article. But this entire thing depends on this one single part, that how are we raising the awareness, how we are enforcing this, how our domestic companies are working on this. Okay, so this is one of the part. Now look at this. We have this one question. India and UK trade agreement is not merely about reducing tariff, but also about encouraging Indian business to become globally competitive. Okay, so this is something which you have to comment, where you have to give your comment. Okay. So this is the first question of 10 marks, India and UK trade deal. Now we are coming to the second one. The second one is with respect to the innovation in India, because we are so much politically absorbed, and even after being politically absorbed, we are not able to change the political system. That is the another level of challenge, that at least we should have a very much efficient political system if we are so much politically absorbed. But what we see, that we are not even having that much efficient political system. So this is something which we have to see, that what we are actually talented at. Now, coming to this part, coming to the next part, that is the research talent and everything which is there in India. Now, let's come to this one article. What we see, that this article is talking about this one part, that in the recent time we have gone through a phase of crisis. Okay, that in the recent time India was going through a phase of crisis. Right now also it's not very much over, but somewhat better conditions are there. Okay, now this is something where it is being said that we are having the economic strength and the talent capacity, that we can focus on research and development. That is the main agenda here. Okay. Now see, let us see this one article. When we are talking about India, we have seen that there was a recent phase of crisis. There was a recent phase of crisis. Why this crisis? Dependence on fossils, dependence on other countries, and it was even for LPG. See, what we see, that there is this one problem, that we are not having fossil. We cannot change that. We cannot change this one problem, that we are not having fossil. But we could have surely changed this part, that we are not having LPG. LPG cylinders are getting imported from outside. It means we are importing the raw material also, we are importing the finished products also. We are importing the raw material also, and we are also importing the finished products. Okay. So what we see that we are having import of raw material, and we see that we are also having import of finished goods. So this implies this one implies that we are having lack of value addition capacity. Lack of value addition capacity. We are recently going through this phase. We were recently going from this phase where we have seen that there was a lack of, there was a crisis of LPG also, there was crisis of oil also. So fossil is something which is not our domain. We will never have fossils with our own in our own territory. We have to be dependent for that. That's fine, no problem. Many countries are dependent on other nations. But we have not been able to create even a strategic petroleum reserve. Okay. We have also seen that we have a failure. We have a failure in creating. We have a failure in creating adequate strategic petroleum reserve. We have a failure in creating that even strategic petroleum reserve. So we have not been able to do that also. So this is one of the challenging aspect that in the recent phase of crisis, what we have been going through. What we have been going through. Now there is another side of story. We see that there are certain facts which we have to consider. There are certain facts which we have to consider. We are spending only 0.64% of our GDP on research and development. Okay. There is expenditure of 0.64% of GDP on research and development. There is expenditure of 0.64%. There is this expenditure of just 0.64% on the research and development. What we see, we see that what is the result? What is the result? We have dependence. We have dependence for cellular technology. We have dependence for medicines, because we are getting what? We are just having generic medicine. We are having just our generic medicine. We are lacking also the defense technology. Okay. There is a lack of state of art defense technology. We are having still example 4.5 generation of fighter jets. We are still stuck here. We are still stuck here at 4.5 generation of fighter jets. By the time we are preparing the 5th generation of fighter jet, the world may have already moved to the 6th generation or the 7th generation. Okay. So we see that we are having a lack of cellular technology, we are having a lack of medicines, we are having a lack of defense technology. When we talk about our space sector also, we are not very much advanced. Our GSLV has a maximum capacity of 10,000 kg. Try to check what is the capacity of Falcon 9. It can take a satellite of more than 50 to 60,000 kg. And we are still stuck at 10,000 kg. So we see that our performance in the space tech also is on a lower side. It's not very much good. And why it is not good? There is a very important part that we are spending only 0.64% of our GDP on research and development. Even within the military sector, even within the space sector, our contribution to research and development is very lower. Okay. So this is one of the part that GDP spending is quite low. Okay. What we see that in India, when we are talking about India, private sector, okay. In India, the private sector is not involved in research and development. We see that very little involvement. There is very little involvement there is very little involvement in research and development. We see that our academics, they are lacking a culture of research and development. They are lacking a culture of research and development. Okay. So our universities, they are lacking a research and development capabilities. They are not working on research and development. Rather, what their focus is getting just the exams are getting conducted. Those exams are having paper leaks. Then those exams are having multiple scrutinies. The results are not on time. The graduates or postgraduates are not employable in nature. So we see that multiple such issues are existing simultaneously from our government side to our private sector to our academics. There is a lack of culture of research and development. Okay. We have got a Anusandhan National Research Foundation. Recently, government has taken a step. We have seen that recently government has taken a step. We have the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. Anusandhan National Research Foundation. So this is something which has been established. Recently the government has come with this Anusandhan National Research Foundation. Okay. It aims to mobilize, there is a simple aim, aims to mobilize public and private investment. This one aims to mobilize, private and public investment for research and development. So this one aims to mobilize public and private investment for research and development. This is in a nascent stage. It has not been done yet. Okay. So we see that we are having a lack of culture. We are having a lack of culture of innovation. Okay. Now the thing is that at the present times, what opportunities we are having? What opportunities we are having? Look at this. What opportunities we are having? We are having a strong economy. Okay. We are among the at least top 6 economies. Okay. We are having a top 6th. We are the top 6th economy. Okay. So we see that we are top 6th economy. So there is availability of public funds. There is the top 6th economy, so we are having the availability of public fund. Okay. A strong potential of reaping. We are having a strong potential of reaping demographic dividend. That we are in such a phase that we can take the benefit of our demography. We are having a significantly large young population. We are having a significantly large young population. So perhaps this is the best time when we can try to reap the benefits of this demography. We have young people, we have energetic people. They can be mobilized to do research. They can be mobilized to do the research. We have also seen that in the recent times, there have been a growing culture of startups, entrepreneurship. Okay. So we see that there is a growing culture. There is a growing culture growing culture. There is a growing culture of enterprises. We are seeing that there is a growing culture of enterprises. Okay. Plus, at the same time, we see that there is a increasing global demand for diversity or diversified innovation. Think about this. We have so many global challenges which are there right now. We are having so many global challenges which are there right now. It is in the field of health also. It is in the field of climate also. It is in the field of energy also. It is in the field of service sector also, cyber security also. So there are multiple such avenues of growth. It's not that the growth potential is limited in the present times. We have enormous growth opportunities in the world. The thing is, are we able to tap it right now or not? Are we able to tap into this right now or not? So this is the second part, that what opportunities we are having, what is the challenges we see, that right now we are going through this phase of crisis. We see what is the reason behind the crisis. We see the regions behind the crisis. Okay. And then we see that there is a potential. So I think you know where we have to work. We have to work on our academia, we have to work on our industry, we have to work for the public finance. We have to work from the school background. Okay. We have to support the startups with the help of venture capitals. So we need, you can mention some of the very important things like SME growth fund. You can mention some of the government schemes like SME growth funds and others. So we see that this is the second topic. On the basis of it also, we have this one question. By focusing on indigenous deep tech innovation, India can transition from being primarily a consumer of technology to becoming a global producer of knowledge, patents and advanced technology. Discuss. Okay. So I think you can write these two answers. ये दोनों आंसर लिख सकते हैं आप. So see, we are having that complete notes making part also. We are having that complete notes making part also, where you can see on 1 or 2 pages, we are writing exactly as per the demand of the topic. And then you are also having questions for the practice. So now if you are adding something from your side, like just add a few things, what has been the government schemes, what new initiatives have been taken, just add a few things from your side, and your like entire preparation will be at a very next level. At the end of this year, this is the month of July, at the end of this year, you should be very much well prepared for the mains exam. That should be our target. This year, by the end of the month of this December 31st, 2026, you should be fully ready for the mains examination. You should have daily answer writing practice. I am giving you answer writing on like we are giving 10 questions per week. So in the next 6 months, like in July also I have provided you. So in next 6 months, you are going to have around 250 questions. You are going to have around 250 questions for practice. If you are practicing 250 questions for the mains from the current aspect, if you have prepared those topics, then you are going to be in a very good state. Okay. Now, let's come to the third article. The third article, the delimitation. The delimitation. So, how many of you are writing the answer? Tell me about this one part. How many of you are writing the answer? How many of writing the answers? Tell me about this. Now, let's come to the next part, the delimitation. Okay. So here, here we are having this one article with respect to delimitation. So now the thing is, I think you are all aware about this, that what is delimitation. Okay. What is delimitation? What are the constitutional articles? So I'm not going into that part. Okay. I'm not going into that part. We are just going to talk about the main arguments here. That what is the, why it is being demanded, and what are the main fears. So we will talk about delimitation once the parliament bill is there. So I'm just giving you a background of this topic. अभी मैं बस आपको background दे रहा हूँ. The government is going to have a bill on delimitation in this session of parliament. तो इस सेशन में delimitation पे bill आएगा. And as soon as it is announced, when there are more such articles with respect to it, then we are going to talk about it in a detailed manner. So right now I'm just giving you a background. So even if you're not making a notes of it, don't worry, we will have a proper notes of it. I'm just giving a background of it right now in this article. Okay. So delimitation, if we talk about this, the delimitation, this is something which is a process. Okay, this is a process of determining the seats and boundary. In simple words, it is a process of determining the seats and boundary. Okay. So the actual delimitation in 2002 also we were having a delimitation, but that was merely a readjustment of the boundaries. The last actual delimitation took place after the 1971 census, and then after there was a freeze. At that time, the number of Lok Sabha seats were decided at 543, total maximum up to 550. So we have got 543 seats in our Lok Sabha. Okay. Now the thing is, if we compare, the population in 1971 was near about 50 crore. The population in the present times is near about 150 crore. So the number, this population has increased from 50 crore to 150 crore. Generally, when we talk about delimitation, what is the main idea? That equal population, equal representation. That is the basis of it. That we are having one core philosophy here. We are having a core philosophy here. That equal population is equal to equal representation. So it is not on the basis of area, it is not on the basis of income, it is not on the basis of area, it is not on the basis of income, it is not on the basis of resources, it is simply on the basis of population. That on the basis of population, we are having the delimitation. Now the thing is, if we look at this one thing, that 1971 was the last time when we were having the delimitation. The population has increased by 3 times, but the number of MPs, they have not increased. So what we see that in many parts of country, there is a disproportionate representation. In some of the areas, we have got only 10 to 20 lakh people. We have got 10 to 20 lakh people who are getting represented by 1 MP. And in some areas, we are having 40 to 50 lakh people, they are getting represented by 1 MPs. So we see that there is a huge mismatch. In the population figure. So that's why there is a demand that there should be delimitation. But the challenge is, if we are going for delimitation, one of the major challenges, what about the southern states? Their population has not increased in the same manner as compared to the northern states. So if we are having a delimitation, strictly on the basis of population, it is going to hamper the southern states. It is going to marginalize them in terms of their representation in the parliament. So if we are doing it on the basis of population, it is going to harm the southern states. If we are not doing it on the basis of population, then it will be defeating the core philosophy here. The core philosophy is, in the delimitation, we are giving equal representation to equal population. Okay. That is a different thing altogether. That is a different thing altogether. We are not going into that right now, that why to have some representatives. Okay. We are not going into that right now. Okay. It's not the problem that we are having representatives. The problem is something else. The problem is that how we are choosing our representatives. We always blame the representatives, but we never look at ourselves that how we are choosing our representatives. Okay. Now, let's come to the question part. I told you that we will discuss this delimitation once we will talk about the delimitation once the government is tabling the new bill. Once the new bill arrives, then we will discuss about this in detail. Okay. Now, coming to this one portion, we are having the first question. One nation, one election changes the electoral calendar but doesn't address the fundamental problems of Indian electoral system. Discuss in 250 words. Okay. So, how many of you have written the answer? How many of you have written this one answer? That one nation, one election. It is simply changing the calendar, but it is not addressing the fundamental problem of India. Okay. So, the constitution guarantees equality. Then should India move toward equal political representation of men and women, such as 50% reservation in legislature? The thing is, when we are talking about equality, we have to see both the side. We have to see both the sides. Okay. That if we are moving on towards 50% reservation, is it going to provide equal representation to everyone? Why we are not counting the transgenders? That's one side. Then at the same time, equal representation should also be there for poor and rich people. So why only rich people are having their in elections? So it is a multi-level debate. So let's not go into that right now. We will talk about the question first. Okay. That is a multiple level debate. Now come here. One nation, one election changes the electoral calendar but doesn't address the fundamental problem of Indian electoral system. Okay. Now the thing is, when we are talking here, we can start the introduction. Here you can mention about the 129th Amendment Bill. You can mention about the 129th Amendment Bill, that what has been introduced. What has been introduced in the Parliament. The One Nation, One Election Bill, which has been introduced in the Parliament. Okay. Then after this, you are going to make a flow chart with respect to the features of One Nation, One Election. Make a features of this using a flow chart, that what is going to be done under this One Nation, One Election. Okay. One nation, one election, what it is going to do, you are going to mention it. Then come to the next part, that it doesn't address the fundamental problem of Indian electoral system. So the next heading should be, what are the fundamental problems? The next heading should be this, the fundamental problems of Indian electoral system. Indian electoral system. Okay. Here, in this part, you should write it just in a simple point. No need to explain it. Just write it simply, point wise, a few parts. Like you can mention about use of black money. You can mention about this lack of ethics. You can mention about many such problems of the electoral system which is there right now. You can also mention about this free and fair election. Then you can mention that the one nation, one election, what it can address and what it cannot address. Okay. So then after this part, you can mention first point wise 5 to 6 main portions. What are the fundamental problems of Indian electoral system? Then what I will suggest you, make a table. Okay. one nation, one election solves, then you can mention what portions are getting solved by this and does not solve. You can mention what points are not getting solved by it. Okay. That while it reduces the expenditure, while it reduces the government expenditure of the elections, while it reduces the government expenditure of the election, it is not addressing the use of black money. Okay. While it is helping to reduce the time of model code of conduct, it is not helping to set the accountability of the government. Okay. So on one side, it is reducing the time of model code of conduct. On other side, it is not making the government accountable. So what challenges are there? It is what problems it is not solving. You can mention on this side that the national issues are often dominating. Even in the present times, we see that the national issues are often dominating. But at the same time, we see that our main state issues, they are not getting highlighted from time to time. And if we are having one nation, one election, again, the local issues are going to be ignored. The challenges of the citizens, the real problem of the citizens which we face on day-to-day basis is going to be ignored. Okay. So you can mention that what it is not solving. Then after, you have to find the solution of it. That what solution are needed. In that solution, you can mention about that we can go for the clubbing of elections. But at the same time, we need a political or electoral reform at a broader scale in India. So there you can write the way forward part. Okay. There you can write a way forward part. And at the end of this, when you have to write the conclusion, you can mention it that while we are proceeding for one nation, one election, it must be done with a wider consultation of all the possible stakeholders. Okay. So what you can see is a wider consultation. The conclusion part will be wider consultation with all stakeholders. Wider consultation with all stakeholders. Okay. So I hope that part is clear. I think how many of you have written it in the same manner? How many of you have written this answer in the same manner? Any deviation? How much things you have written? What was your question? Sir, I have Indian Express paper. I want to know what to read in here. I mean, they have numerous pages and most of them seem important. I will suggest you go through the explained section of it and the editorial section of it, plus any new articles which come up. Okay. I am not saying that you have not done innovation. I am not saying this part that you have not done innovation. You have to continuously improve your answer. That is something which I will suggest you. That you have to continuously improve. Okay. Now, so the second question, Australian uranium can play a crucial role in India's next phase of nuclear energy expansion. Elaborate. So this was a easy question. ये तो बहुत ही आसान क्वेश्चन था. You can mention about the recent India US deal. Okay, you can mention about the recent India US deal. Okay. You can mention about this one part, India's quest of nuclear energy. Okay. Then you can mention the Australian uranium. Australia is having near about Australia is having 1/3 of uranium reserve of the world. Australian uranium is also having good quality. Okay. Then the third part is the India-Australia deal. You can give a little bit about India-Australia deal, that India has provided that IAEA can inspect its civil nuclear facilities. We have also made sure that we are providing the tracking facilities to Australia, so Australia can keep a tab on how we are using their uranium. So that's why this deal can help us to secure a reliable supply of uranium, and a reliable supply of uranium is going to make sure that we are having a reliable 24/7 supply of nuclear energy in various parts of the country. Okay. So this can help us fulfill our NDC. This can help us fulfill our sustainable development goals. So this is something which you have to write in this answer. I hope it's clear. तो आज के लिए आपके पास दो क्वेश्चन है. Today you are having two questions. Today you are having two questions. So tell me one thing, how many of you have attended the CAPF paper last day? How many of you have attended the CAPF paper last day? In the beginning, you can mention one nation, one election. Later on, of course, you can take a shortcut. But the thing is, I will suggest you that in the beginning, try to mention it completely. In the beginning, in the first part, mention it and then write it one nation, one election there in the bracket itself. Later on, you can use one nation, one election. No issues in that. Okay. So that will be all for today. Let's meet then in the next session tomorrow. And tomorrow we are going to discuss some very important articles. Okay, tomorrow we will discuss some important articles, because now we have seen that the parliament session is going to start from today. We are going to have some new bills. We are going to have some new discussions. Then the next 1 week, we will have multiple articles with respect to polity. Okay. So let's meet then tomorrow and then we will discuss. Thank you everyone. Take care.